guys and ghouls, and welcome to another episode of Fright Mike. I'm Sam.
I'm Liz.
And today we're going to go through the trees, we're going to find ourselves, we're going to eat some boys, and maybe some girls, who knows. Some days I like to go both ways.
That sounds sexual.
We are talking about a movie that is very near and dear to my own heart. Whether or not you feel the same way about this movie as me, we are going to have some fun today. We are talking about 2009's Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's Body came out in 2009. Currently has a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
It has a criminal 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. How could you do this?
Those are such low scores.
I know. This movie is so good.
Which is a jumping off point, I feel like, to say that this movie is misunderstood.
I agree.
Like, wholeheartedly. And honestly, I'll admit it. I fell victim to the misunderstandings of this movie because when I like everybody when the trailer played, and I actually rewatched the trailer for this exact reason, recently. It was marketed to be this sexualizing movie about Megan Fox, and it was to men.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not what the movie's about.
It was back in 2009, I remember it was the year I graduated high school. I was a senior. The world was different. Twilight had taken the world by storm. So I don't know, but it was also Megan Fox was the world's sexiest woman, and
right.
Everything she was in had to be super sexualized. So of course they target everyone, through the trailers by saying, yeah, Megan Fox is super hot, and also she's eating boys, and also she can, because I think, at least in one of the trailers, unless I'm remembering this wrong, they include the clip of her saying, I go both ways.
Right.
So,
they totally objectified her, and unfortunately, because I literally, I remember when I saw the trailer, and, the poster and everything, it was, all, sexy and everything, and I just, eye rolled so hard, until I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Also, having just rewatched the trailer, they half the trailer is not even in the movie, and the part where she says the whole oh, you're eating people. I'm not eating people. I'm eating boys. That wasn't even in the movie.
I know. Well, I feel like she kind of says it to Needy, right?
Yeah.
But not in the same. Yeah, it's a different clip, but
yeah.
Which I feel like that's a whole nother topic we could discuss. I am personally a fan of having clips in the trailer not be in the movie because I feel like it doesn't spoil anything.
True.
So, especially for horror movies, I appreciate when a movie puts different trailer, or, I don't want, the movie to be totally different than what it is in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean, but, with some of the one-liners, or maybe some, it's I appreciate that. Because the whole movie, it's oh, they said that line, so obviously this is going to happen. And, it kind of takes away from the movie when you see it. Because you're oh, yeah, that was in the trailer. Oh, only the good parts of the movie were in the trailer. But I do appreciate, especially in a horror movie, when some of the one-liners, or maybe, some of the quote-unquote, lead up to the kills, or, whatever.
Yeah.
I appreciate when they're different.
Well, I can think of actually one example, somewhat recently, of a movie that had something in the trailer that wasn't in the movie, and I was actually disappointed, and that was The Invisible Man, the new one.
Yeah.
With her, staring at the chair.
Oh, yeah.
And they, there's, those people that walk in the room, and she's I can see him, staring at, he's sitting right there. And it wasn't, and it's such a creepy moment in the trailer, and they don't have it in the movie at all, and I'm oh, God.
Same movie. The poster for the movie is her, with the hand in the
yeah,
shower. That wasn't in there either.
That in our episode, yeah.
Yeah. And it makes you think, okay, because I have the DVD, I watched all the deleted scenes, and now I'm struggling to remember if it was a deleted scene or not. But
I think you mentioned that even.
I think I might have. But I do agree. It sucks when a good scene, a creepy part like that is not in the movie. But also, with the handprint scene not being in the movie but being in the trailer, I kind of liked it. Because I'm I get it from the trailer.
Yeah.
I get the the movie as a whole also, and I'm not, like, so with the shower scene, you're like, oh, this was in the trailer, I'm waiting for the hand, and it doesn't happen, and something else happens instead, and it just completely throws you, and you're like, oh shit, what the hell is this?
I was not expecting this.
Right, it's totally brand new to me. So, yeah, it can go both ways. It has ups and downs, but I do 100% agree with you. I think half of the reason this movie flopped the way that it did back in 2009 is because of the marketing.
Also, like, most of the people that probably saw this initially when it came out were men.
Yes.
So, like, the women missed out. Girls missed out.
And, well, in this movie, too, it's got a female director, Diablo Cody, who, if I'm not mistaken, also directed movies like Juno.
Well, she wrote it.
She wrote it?
And then Karen Kusama's the one.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
But, like,
you are correct.
And I love Diablo Cody's, like, writing. I think that, like, the dialogue, even in, like, Juno, was so, like, witty. And I, like, love her style. So to have them both work together is, it's so good.
It feels very, like, her dialogue feels very authentic, too, just because it is so, like, weird. Like,
yeah.
There are so many lines in this movie that I use in my own personal, like, daily life. Like, when she's like, you're just Jell-O, Chip. Yeah, you're lime green Jell-O, and you don't even realize. Like, I say that shit all the time because it's like, I remember I saw this twice in the theater. And the first time I heard it, I was like, nobody talks like that. It cut to me a week later at school, like, you're lime green Jell-O. Like, oh, I fucking talk like this now.
Well, it makes it more quotable, too.
It does.
Because how many people after Juno came out, were quoting that movie, like, nonstop.
I know.
You know, but that's what makes it good. Like, that when you have a good movie that you can quote all the time like that, with those, like, memorable off-the-wall lines.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Whether you like to admit it or not, same thing happened with Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
That, oh my god. You want to talk about a fucking movie. Jesus Christ. That movie was so awful the first time I saw it. And then, like, it's the quotes that make it good. And then you're like, oh, I can appreciate this. I mean, now it's not a good movie, I don't think. There are parts of it that I still like, but...
Well, that was, like, a whole moment.
It was a movement.
I mean, like, all of Hot Topic had, like, vote for Pedro shit all over it.
Yeah. Tina, you fat lard. Oh, my God. Oh. I can't... Your mom goes to college.
I feel like I never saw any Jennifer's Body merch.
I didn't either, and I'm disappointed. I would love a low shoulder shirt.
Right.
I'm very into that.
A band tee?
Yes, I'm here for it. A bumper sticker.
Speaking of low shoulder, fucking Adam Brody, man, making another, like, appearance on our podcast.
With his smarm face. Oh my god, I think he was the perfect choice. I know.
Like, it was crazy when I was a teenager, everybody was, what was he on, like, the OC?
I think so.
So I never watched any of that. Like, no. It was not for me. It was not my thing. But, so I always was like, oh, he's one of those, like, OC teen dream people. But now that I'm, like, I see him in, like, other movies, like, Ready or Not, and, like...
The Ring.
And Jennifer's Body, I'm like, dude, this guy's looking awesome.
Queen, icon, legend.
He's great in Ready or Not, and he's, like, fucking great in this.
Yes, he's got the perfect... smarm face.
Oh, I know.
Oh my god. And
he's such a dick in both movies.
I fucking die every time, like, when Needy's like, or I guess I don't even know if she hears this part, but like, we just show like the band before they play at Melody Lane, and he's talking to the guitarist, and he's like, do you want to do this forever, playing bullshit shows at like shitty bars, or do you want to be awesome and rich like that guy from Maroon 5? He's such a dick.
He was like, Maroon 5. Yeah. He's like, exactly. Maroon 5. And then he looks over to the other guy. He's like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. He's just, when he starts singing, oh my god. I don't even remember. Is the fucking 867-5309 song.
Oh, yeah.
Before he stabs her. Like, oh, you're such a dick. Oh, you are such a dick.
I know.
But I love him.
I know. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. I'm happy he was in the movie more. Although, one of the things I question in this movie is why they stuck around for so long. Like, afterwards.
What do you mean?
Like, so, okay, they came for the Virgin.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah. Got the Virgin, and then got their fame. But why did they stay in town?
They didn't. They were, like, busy touring, and at the end, they were just, like, on a world tour. It just happened to be, like, in their area.
But, like, they stayed enough to perform again. Remember, they were like, "Oh, we're doing the school's anthem."
Yes, yeah. Well,
so I'm like, why did they got what they wanted? Why did they stay?
I think it was because like that was the song that they played at the bar, and because of the tragedy, or like the loss of life, it became like the town's anthem. So like, yeah, we'll do it. It'll be like a charity thing. Yeah, all 3% of the proceeds will go to charity. So that honestly, but I agree. Like,
but they were doing this selfishly, so I'm just surprised. Yeah. It feels out of character for them to have stayed. This is such a like mood thing, but like, yeah, I was just like, how come they stuck around? But yeah, I'm glad they did.
Gotta do what you gotta do to make it big, like Maroon 5.
And all the guy liner, I appreciate.
So much guy liner, so many like crescent moon tattoos.
Oh yeah, and they all had it. It's so cute. They had like matching band tattoos.
Yup. And I've seen this movie so many fucking times. I can't even tell. So like, they have the crescent moon tattoos, and then Needy in her bedroom has a crescent moon. All crescent moons look the same, but like has a crescent moon looking very similar to their tattoos.
Yeah.
When Needy is playing pinball while Jennifer's getting them shots, and she overhears the band, she's playing a pinball machine, and it's the name of the pinball machine is Fire, and the bar catches on fire. And then in the beginning of the movie, you know how it shows Needy and like they put her in like solitary, and then that song plays, and she's like, I hate this song. It's Through the Trees.
Yeah.
The mall, like the mall version.
All the fucking connections.
I know. This movie is great, and I just feel like it came out in a time, it was ahead of its time, and it was underappreciated.
Yeah, sure. It was, and the thing that's sad, though, too, is, like, the people who didn't see this right away, like, I feel like they missed out because, like we said, it was mismarketed in a way to be this, like, movie that it's not. Like, it's literally, like, a movie for girls.
Absolutely.
Like, anyone could tell you, like, I had, like, toxic girl friendships. Like, I've had it before, so, like, I could, like, relate to this movie. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's, like, their undoing.
Yeah, it's the dark underlyings of like girl world and like friendship, especially like when one of you is like better looking than the other and more popular than the other, but maybe the other one is more well liked by her class. It's like, because Needy is lovable, and like she gets along with Colin, and she's like she's got friends, but like Jennifer is like the one everyone lusts after and like everyone would do anything for, and it's like I've definitely been part of. Yeah. Like, relationships like that.
Yeah, like that dynamic where... And it's always, like, strange, like, they had that, like, they call it, like, the sandbox love for each other because they're so different. They're literally, like, opposites.
Yeah.
Which is pointed out multiple times in the movie. How many times did Chip say, like, you're nothing like her, like, you guys have nothing in common, so, like... Yeah, it's a huge thing in the movie.
It's friendship for convenience sake because you've been friends this long.
Right. Right.
Yeah. No, this movie does like a great job pointing that stuff out.
Yeah.
You got a good point. It's made by women for women.
It is. And all the men in the movie are the ones who are objectified.
Yeah, for sure.
Megan Fox. And that's the thing is like, so this movie came out, and then, like, I know she was in, like, Transformers. I don't know if it came out before or after this one. And then it was, like, the same thing was happening then. And then I feel like she kind of disappeared because she got, like the sex symbol icon in Hollywood as being, like, she's just the, like, sex symbol in all the movies.
Right. It's almost like they didn't realize, like, they don't care about her talent. They were like, yeah, we need someone hot, and then you're going to do it. And, like, I know... She had talked a lot about, like, especially issues on set of Transformers and, like, just the bullshit that women go through in Hollywood, especially when you're deemed, like, a sex symbol, like Megan Fox is, when you're just, like, overtly sexy and everyone, it's, like, that whole garbage. So I do feel bad because whether or not you agree, I like Megan Fox.
I like her too, and I think she was really good in this movie. And I think, but because she was seen as like just a pretty face, that she probably missed out on a lot of opportunities of movies that she could have done. I mean, she has such like witty, sharp dialogue in this movie, and she delivers it really well, I think.
And I think she's got like a good sarcastic sense of humor, whether or not that was like part of the well-written dialogue, but I think she has the script, but I think she brings it to life.
And I think she even pokes fun at herself in this movie, you know, even with her saying things like, you know, why would I've never had a problem with guys asking me out before, like, when she finally gets, like, you know, the demon eyes.
Yup.
Like, she pokes fun at herself, and she has pictures of herself on her dresser.
She sure does. Oh my god.
Like, she's poking fun at herself and her own, like, vanity, and it's
well, like, the
great.
first time we see her looking like garbage, so, like, she turns into a demon, she feeds, and then, like, a month goes by, and she looks like shit, and she's like, I look like boo-boo, my hair is dull and lifeless, like, I'm breaking out. It's like I'm one of the normal girls.
Right,
yeah.
so she's, like, she's poking fun at herself, and it's like, ugh. Yeah.
I know.
So good.
She's having a comeback in a big way, though. This year, 2021, has been the year of Megan Fox, and I am here for it 100%.
I know, and
she's living her
best.
best.
Has her new movie, Till Death, which I still have to check out. I really do want to watch it.
Yes.
It just came out. I heard it was really good.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Well, let's jump into the world of Devil's Kettle and Jennifer's Body. Let's get into it. We start off with Needy Less Nikki. She's in a mental institution. We're not quite sure why. I mean, like, we can assume why. But she's labeled as a kicker. She gets herself into some trouble over Toastums, knocks some teeth out, and gets set into solitary confinement. And then we kind of...
She, like, recounts how everything came to be up to this point.
Like Wayne's World.
So we get a nice little flashback moment of the entire rest of the movie.
Yes. They live in Devil's Kettle. Her and Jennifer have been best friends, BFFFFFs, since the Sandbox, like you said. Megan Fox is on color guard. She's not a cheerleader. She's waving that flag around. And Needy's in the fucking bleachers like, I don't know.
The mascot. No.
Yeah, their friendship definitely, like, borders, like crush status.
Oh, yeah.
Well, definitely on Needy's end.
I think, and I think they definitely explore that later in the movie. But, like, I think it's definitely an undertone, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
The way that she looks at her. And then the other girl, I don't remember what her name is, but the other girl that's, like, sitting right by Needy is, like, yo, you're giving her, like, googly eyes.
Yeah. You guys are totally lesbian gay. Okay, thanks for your input.
I appreciate your input.
Right. It's very 2009
So, like,
dialogue.
yeah, it's definitely, like, present in the movie, which is, like, a whole other thing.
Right. So, we also meet Chip, who is Needy's boyfriend, played by Johnny Simmons.
He's got the swoopy hair.
He does. Oh, my God, his hair looks like a helmet.
The 2000s swoopy hair.
Yeah. Young Neil from fucking the Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But essentially, like, we're just kind of, like, meeting them and, like, get their dynamic. Jennifer comes to see Needy at her locker and is like, wear something cute tonight, we're going out. And they go to a bar. They go see a band called Low Shoulder, who Jennifer follows on MySpace. They're super hot.
Love the MySpace mention.
Yes. So, like, Jennifer goes to pick up Needy from her house, and, like, Chip is over there, and she's driving her mom's Sebring convertible. And she, like, walks in, and she's like, it smells like Thai food in here. Have you been fucking?
Oh.
I remember the first time I saw this in theater, I was like, this fucking sucks. This dialogue's weird. But, like, at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, it is what it is. It sticks with it. Yeah, it sticks with you.
It gets better.
And the second time I saw it, I was like, it smells like Thai food in here. But, like, I was into it then because I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
But so they go to Melody Lane, which is, like, white trash.
It is a dive bar.
Yeah.
I love how it's, like, noted as, like, throughout the movie as the hot nightclub in town. It's like a fucking roadside dive bar.
Yes. After the fire goes down, somebody says it was a white trash pig roast.
Oh my god.
Oh, so yeah, they got like pinball machines. Chris Pratt makes a surprise appearance as the cop who gave Jennifer anal that one time, and then she sat in a bag of frozen peas because she couldn't go to Flax. So thanks for that. His name's Roman. He's a cop.
Officer Roman.
Yes, a cop in training.
Yeah.
She gets them some 9/11 shooters. Very
controversial.
Is what it is. Yeah, is what it is. And then the band, before they play, Needy is talking to them, or, like, overhears them talking, like, hey, dude, are you sure she's a virgin? We need a virgin, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Needy's like, oh, hell no. They're going to try to fuck my best friend. She thinks that they're, like, just dirty scumbags. And she's like, for your information, she is a virgin, and she would never do creeps like you. And they were like, fuck yes, she's a virgin.
And we got her.
Yeah. So then they play their song Through the Trees. A fire is started, just, mysteriously. And the whole bar goes up, and Jennifer and Needy manage to, like, escape through the bathroom window where they meet the band outside, and they're, like, by their, like, creepy van.
Their rapey van?
Yeah, and they're just, like, so cavalier. They're like, oh, my God, thank God you guys made it out. We were so worried about you.
They're so creepy. They're like, oh, we'll take you away to a safer place. And Needy, all of her red flags are raised at this point, because she's like, yeah, no, we're good, but... Even, like, before they get out, Jennifer's, like, in a trance.
Yeah.
She's already, like, smitten into this whole thing. And she's just like, no, we'll go with them. And, yeah, no. Which is, like, oh, my God. It's like revisiting high school or, like, junior high when you watch, like, your girlfriends do something stupid. Like, I've definitely been there, and, like, you just know, like, oh, fuck.
You can feel the atmosphere.
Like, oh, fuck.
Exactly. You know exactly what it feels like.
Uncomfortable, like, horrible, like, you're about to make a bad decision.
Yup.
Yeah.
Especially, like you said, oh, my God, it especially pertains to, like, the high school area, or, like, high school era of life.
Yeah.
Because now that we're older, I can't say that I feel it as, I mean...
I still don't talk to strangers.
Right, no, I talk to strangers even less than I did before.
For other reasons, just socially.
Yeah, but, like, other than, like, watching your friend get, like, way too drunk, those are the only bad decisions I see anyone making anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about your 16-year-old friend going off with these, like, college guys. Mm-hmm. Or whatever the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, so they drive off with her. In the back seat.
Yeah.
There's that moment where, like, the door is closing and they're just, like, looking at each other like, oh, fuck.
And then it cuts to Adam Brody just, like shoulder shrug.
Oh, my God,
smart smile, like, we got her, bye.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And they drive off into the night, and Needy comes home, and she's like, like, upset, obviously. And then we hear, like,
How'd
a noise.
She get home?
Did she take Jennifer's mom's Sebring home?
Does she have the keys, though?
I don't know. That's a good point.
I don't know.
She gets home. And then we hear, like, a noise, and it is late at night, and it's a dark house, and no one ever bothers to turn a goddamn light on.
Nope.
But the fridge light is on because the door's open, and Jennifer is digging through that thing like a fucking animal. Like a rabid raccoon in a dumpster behind Chili's. And she's looking all kinds of fucked up, and she just, like, I don't even, growls.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, ah!
Yeah. Oh my God, when she's digging the chicken.
Yes.
See, that's the good thing. That's another thing I wanted to talk about was how, like, so obviously we discussed, like, Megan Fox being, like, objectified and, like, the whole thing about her being, like, a sex symbol, but she does, like, a really good job at making herself not look good in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, she rips the rotisserie chicken out of the fridge, it, like, flies on the floor, and she's like, rah, and, like, a rabbit, she's got, like, meat hanging out of her mouth, and she's, like, looking some kind of way.
Yeah. Oh, and then she pukes up this, like,
the sludge.
It's like prickly black sludge, and then it's all in her teeth, and then she just, like, smiles at Needy, and it's honestly, so creepy.
Though, the smile with, like, the blood on her teeth is the creepiest thing ever.
I hate it.
It lingers too long, and I'm just like, oh God, wow.
I know, and it's, like, dark, like, just dark enough.
Yeah,
like,
with the light hitting her face, it's a creepy moment, for sure.
It's probably the scariest moment of the whole fucking movie.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but then she, like, grabs Needy and she's like, are you scared? And Needy's like, ah. I would have pissed my pants probably.
Oh, for sure.
But then she just leaves and Needy's like,
fuck.
Okay.
But then the next day, she, like, sees her in class. I think she's still a little shook because, like, she just has this, like, spaced out, like, look at her face. And Jennifer comes into school as if nothing happened, looking completely normal.
Yep, like, super hot. Like, even hotter than before.
Glowing.
Like, literally radiating. I don't understand. And, like, Needy's like, what the hell? And, like, shows her, like, her dark black nails from, like, scrubbing, like, on her hands and knees, that, like, black prickly shit. And she was like, oh my god, you need a mani-pedi bad. And it's just, like, such a bitch. And they're talking about the tragic loss of life of all the students and teachers that died at the Melody Lane fight, you know, and all just, like, the town members. And they're, like, including Senorita Gomez, and Jennifer's like, oh, no way, she ate shit. Like, just, like, super does not care.
No fucks given.
No fucks to give. And then after that, we get one of my favorite shots in the movie. We get Jonas.
Oh my god, yeah. So she then attacks Jonas, who also lost one of his teammates. He's the football player.
He is,
He's the football player, yeah.
And it's, like, such a cool shot because, like, it's, like, the camera zooms in. Like, he's on the football field, and it's zooming in really fast with, like, this heavy metal playing. And, like, when it gets to, like, right up in his face, he looks to the left, and you see Jennifer, like, off in the distance walking, like, towards him. And then he looks forward, and then immediately, like, not even a second later, she's on his right. So the complete opposite side. She's like, hi, Jonas. It's, oh my god, it's just so fucking great.
Yeah.
And she, like, like, grabs his hand. She's like, you know, puts it on her tit, essentially. She's like, feel my heart. It's broken. You know, your best friend Craig, he said that you and I would make a banging couple. And he's like, Craig said that? Yeah, you want to go in the woods and bang?
It's such a good scene, too, because so she leads him into the woods, and immediately is like, they're, like, making out, and, you know, she's, like, about to give him a blowy.
Yeah, and all, like, meanwhile, like, it gets real quiet, and all, like, the forest animals, like, are gathering around, like, some fucked up Snow White.
I was just gonna say that, like, fucking Snow White.
It's wild. And she was like, do you miss your friend Craig? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, well, you're gonna see him real soon. He's like, what, you mean, like, in heaven one day? And she's like, no.
Oh, God, the teeth.
The teeth! She fucking unhinges her jaw at, like, at the neck. It's
like,
just, like, it's a wide, like a Venus flytrap.
It's great.
It's insane. And, like, her teeth are real sharp, and her eyes get, like, black. It's creepy.
It's amazing. So then when they discover his body, he's just, like, ripped to shreds.
It's a fucking, and, like, the wild animals are picking at his insides.
Oh, man.
And then doesn't it, like, oh my god, I don't remember if it's his mom. I think it's his parents. They're like, he looked like lasagna. Oh, it's nasty. And then I think, like, after that, it's like a month goes by. So, like, you know, it shows the town, and they've suffered so much tragedy. And this is when you, like, get that backstory of, like, you know, Low Shoulders' song Through the Trees is, like, the unofficial anthem of the town. And they have, like, fucking candlelight vigils and shit.
I think they were, like, marking them as, like, heroes because they had allegedly, like, pulled people out of the burning building, and Needy's just like, what the fuck?
And she's like, that did not happen.
I was there.
Yeah, and I like the same girl that was like, you guys are lesbi gay. She turns and she's got, like, a low shoulder shirt, and she was like, they're heroes, Needy. She's like, no, they're not. And she goes, it's true. It's on their Wikipedia. Okay, ma'am, sit down.
Must be true.
Right. So, we see Jennifer looking like shit. Like, truly, like, just, like, scraggly, greasy hair.
She needs to feed.
Yeah, she's got breakouts, or she's just, like, real pale and gross, like, no makeup. And, she's like, it just must be wearing off or something. And Needy's like, what's wearing off? And she doesn't say anything. And I was like, ooh, okay. But then we meet Colin, he was in, you know, he's a horror movie vet. He was in, what's his name? Something Gallagher. But he was in Haunting in Connecticut. He was in the really awful Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Yeah. But he's cute.
He is cute.
I like him.
He's always the goth boy.
I know. Sweet boy. And he, like, talks to Needy, and then he's like, hey, Jennifer, do you want to go out with me sometime? They're playing Rocky Horror at the Bijou. And she's like, I don't like boxing movies. And he's like, it's not a fucking boxing movie. Okay, never mind. And it's so fucking awkward. Yeah, that's when, like, you said where she was like, yeah, I'm used to boys asking me out. She was like, he listens to Maggot Rock. He wears, like, eyeliner. My dick is bigger than his. Just, like, shitting all over this poor kid.
But then she says yes. Yeah, but it is really weird, though, too, because, like, everybody is confused as to why he's actually asking her out, because, like, there was no interest up to this point.
Right. Well, I think it's because, like, Jennifer is, like,
right.
the hot girl.
Right.
But
she wasn't at this moment, though.
Right. Well, and it's like that weird, like, they keep focusing on this, like, this connection between Jennifer and Needy. It seems like whatever Needy likes, Jennifer has to have, which is, like, again, like a toxic girl thing.
Right.
You know, like, and it, you know, it's like very Mean Girls as well. Like, oh, you want him? Well, no, I'm gonna have him.
Right.
Because Needy's like, I like Colin. And she was like, you do? And then she's like, hey, Colin, do you want to watch Aquamarine at my house tonight? It's about a girl who's half sushi. I think she has sex through, like, a blowhole or something. And he's like, oh, okay. I know. So she's like, yeah, I'll text you my address. And then she's, like, all up on Chip shit, too, because he's Needy's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So Colin,
his death really is, like, tragic. Because,
it's sad.
So she gives him her address, and
wink,
it's
wink.
like, yeah, it's basically like a housing development, like a
Unfinished.
like a house under construction, and like for him to get even farther in that house that he did, like I would, because she was like upstairs.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone.
And he
in.
was like going through like the construction zone of it. Didn't even see anything right away. Oh my god, whatever. It's not important, but. Yeah, so he gets upstairs and everything is, like, lit with all these candles around, and she's just so creepy when she's standing behind him in the background, luring him there. Ugh.
And I like that they're playing I Wanna Fuck You by Akon. But also, I feel like this really, like, tells you how either A, desperate, or B, naive Colin is, because had that been me, like, had a boy I really liked been like, I'll text you my address, and I pulled up to a neighborhood that is not finished and all the houses are, like, under construction still being built, I would have been like, okay, he's fucking pranking me. Like, This was all a joke. They're probably watching me from one of these houses, laughing their ass off, and they're going to tell everyone at school the next day. And I would have turned my ass around and left.
Yeah. Not
him. He goes into the house.
He wanders through.
Why? Why the fuck would you do that?
Because
I know.
I don't know.
And then she's like, let's play mommy and daddy. But then she eats his insides. Ooh, and it's so good because she, like,
scooping.
She's like, I need you frightened. I need you hopeless. And then her eyes get all crazy. Yeah, and then, like, you just see, like, the shadow on the wall.
It's such an emo thing.
It is. And, like, yeah, like you said, she's, like, scooping his blood out of his insides.
Yeah, it's such a good shot when she's, like, scooping it out of his stomach.
And she's, like, squatted over, like, literally like a feral animal.
It's great.
How could I forget the iconic Jennifer swim scene? I think that was after she eats Jonas when she goes for, like, a swim in the lake.
Oh, yeah.
And her body is literally, like, steam is coming off because she's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
From the feed.
right. Just from her, like, demon status.
Yeah.
But also physically.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
poor Colin.
And meanwhile, while this is happening, let's just say this is, like, such a weird...
a weird parallel.
This is a really weird parallel. Because, Chip's parents are out of town. So, like, they go, like, they're at his house and they're banging. And he's got, like, I don't know, like, lime green condoms or I don't know. I don't remember what the deal is.
The swirl.
Yeah, oh yeah, this swirl. So they're having sex and Needy, so, like, it's missionary, it's boring. And, like, Needy sees, like, blood on the ceiling, and then she sees, like, Jennifer and, like, Jonas and, like
in the corner.
Yeah, and, like, is having visions and, like, I don't know if she can, like, see Colin die, but
I think she can feel it happening, because that's the whole other thing about that. Like, so in that moment, that, like, connection that has kind of been there all along is now, like, confirmed, basically, because now she can, like, sense when something is going on with Jennifer.
And it's all, I feel like it's, excuse me, it's, like, all part of this, like, BFF necklace that they have, because they're both wearing it, and at the end, when she rips it off, is when, like, Jennifer seems to lose her power.
Right. Which is, like, kind of random, I feel like.
Right. I don't know.
It has nothing really to do with the possession aspect.
See, I wonder if there's some sort of weird, like, energy connection, because there's that, like, unrequited love that seems to be there, like, on Needy's end, and maybe even a little on Jennifer's end, too, because obviously, like, this whole, like, give and take relationship that they have, like, it serves both of them a purpose. Like, Needy is basically Jennifer's slave and will do whatever, but Jennifer also has this, like, weird connection to Needy, you know, and, like, when she's telling the story about what happened to her that night she went with those guys, she was like, yeah, they stabbed me, and then she's like, and the next thing I know, like, I woke up and I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I needed to come back to you, and that's why she went to her house.
And that she could never bring herself to hurt her.
Exactly. So it's this weird...
Yeah, like, connection.
Yeah. So Needy is, like, freaking out. She's like, oh my god. But, of course, they're having sex. So Chip's like, what's wrong? Am I too big? Like, he really thinks he's, like, such a fucking stud. But no. And so, like, she leaves and almost hits Jennifer, like, on the way home, like, with her car. 'Cause she just jumps out on the street like a fucking deer.
Yeah. And
she's, like, on the hood of her car. And, again, she gives that, like, creepy smile. But then Needy gets home, and Jennifer's there, and she looks great. She looks fantastic. She's wearing an Evil Dead baseball tee.
I love the baseball tee.
I know. She looks very cozy in her undies and her socks. And Needy and Jennifer start making out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when it kind of goes back to the whole, like, bisexuality thing, and which is, like, a whole other thing in this movie.
Right. You're exploring.
With your girlfriends.
Right. So that's when we get, like, the whole backstory of what happened to Jennifer. Like, she got picked up by those guys in the van. And I love... Again, I just love Adam Brody so much in this movie, because she's like, are you guys... Like, I forget what she says, but she's like, are you guys, like, gonna kill me? Or are you gonna rape me? And Adam Brody just goes, you don't have to talk if you don't want to. Just like, shut the fuck up. But she's like, yeah, I am a virgin. Like, I don't even do sex. I don't know how, so you should probably find someone else who does, right? Like, just completely misunderstanding the situation.
The fact that she said do sex.
Yeah, I don't even do sex. I don't even know how. Which we know, she's not even a backdoor virgin anymore, thanks to Roman. Oh. So they take her to this, like, waterfall that they talked about in the beginning, where it's basically, like, a hole that scientists have dropped things down to see, like, where it comes out, and they haven't found the other side of it, basically.
The pit of hell.
Exactly. So they take her there. They do some ritual that they got offline.
Yeah, but they printed out the Google pages.
So they recite this very legit, like, ritual and sacrifice Jennifer to the devil as they sing 8675309.
And they do it all in the name of getting their indie rock band fame.
Absolutely. Low shoulder. But it didn't work because she's not a virgin. So when she woke up, she found oh my god, what is it, like a transfer student? Not transfer student,
yeah.
like
the guy from India.
Yeah, the foreign exchange student, Ahmed? I don't remember his name. But she was like, oh my god, you made it out. Does anyone know you're alive? Or, like, do your like, host family know you're alive? Does anyone know you're alive? And she's like, and then I don't know. Like, I just went on instinct and I ate him. And I felt a lot better. So she, like, found out she's got, like, superpowers. And, like, you know, we get, like, the GIF exists online, like, everywhere. It's, like, her holding the lighter to her tongue.
Oh, I know.
And then it, like, is normal.
God.
Yeah, she's like, I am a god. But she's like, yeah, and then, like, you know, I've just been eating you know, because Needy's like, you're eating people, and she's like, I'm not eating people, I'm eating boys.
Yeah.
Hello.
And she just, it sucks because, so Needy's really the only one that, like, notices anything is going down, because then she confides in Chip, like, I think the next day, about the whole thing, and she's like, she's not just, like, is this the line where she goes, she's not just high school evil, she's actually evil?
Yeah, she's evil. Yeah, I know. No, like, evil. Not high school
but
evil.
But he, like, already thinks she's going crazy, because she's the only one that, like, sees what's going on, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then I feel bad for Chip, because, like, so we've got, like, the dance, you know, like, the school dance coming up, the formal. And, you know, it's Through the Trees themed, and...
Of course.
You know, like, I feel like... Yeah, of course.
Because Low Shoulders performing.
Of course they are. Of course they are. It's the town that gave them the fame that they were looking for.
And they're giving back.
They're giving back. And it's so sad because Needy's like, I can't, like, I have to, like, break up with you, essentially, to protect you. You know?
She doesn't want him to go to the dance because I think they even say in the movie it's gonna be like a fucking all-you-can-eat buffet of boys for Jennifer to eat.
Exactly. So she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go to the fucking dance with you, Chip.
But he goes anyway.
I know. And it's like, oh, that's another good scene. Like, I feel like there's so many good, like, shots of Jennifer, like, the background shit. Like, you know, like, with Jonas in the field and, like, just, like, this scene. So Needy is wearing this ugly, she just looks like shit. She looks like she's straight out of, like, 1985.
I was gonna say, what
it's
is
very
up with
Josie Grossy.
Well, it's very 16 Candles.
Yes, yes.
Like, what is up with the puffy sleeved hot pink moment that she's wearing?
Right. Her fucking hair is crimped. She's just missing braces and, like, an egg to the face. Like, fucking,
it made me question
like a prayer plane.
when this movie actually takes place.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole fashion in this movie makes me wonder that too.
That's
because I'm
true.
like, I didn't even think about that. Like, obviously it came out in 2009, but I'm like, did I miss something about when this actually took place? Because holy shit, even Jennifer's dress is, I mean, it's like long, but she's got those the gloves.
Yeah, and like it seems current because they have cell phones. There's MySpace,
right.
You know, like there's all this shit, but it almost does kind of like not as good as It Follows, because It Follows is like a truly ambiguous time period, but it almost
and they
feels
stick with that through the whole time,
right? But it almost feels like they're like kind of verging into that territory,
right? But then they give those nods, so you're like, oh, okay, so it is like the 2000s, but
right?
Then it's like, what's up with the dress though?
I know the fashion is, and maybe
weird.
Maybe it speaks less to an ambiguous time period and more like small town.
Maybe. Because the other thing that gave away the whole 2000s vibe was when, I think it's when they were going out to the bar and Needy's wearing the tank top over the shirt, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
I remember when that was a trend.
Yeah, and then Chip says, I could see your womb.
But I thought
her
that was more
belly's
90s. I could be wrong. I don't know. But
it's ugly either way.
Either way, yeah. But it is such a random thing that I'm just like, oh my god. And her hair, ugh.
I know.
Yikes.
And you see, like, Jennifer, she looks like shit because she hasn't fed, and she's, like, literally smearing 10 pounds of foundation on her face with her fucking hands.
Yeah.
But this is the scene I'm talking about. So, like, Chip is walking to the dance by himself over the river and through the woods in the dark, and you see Jennifer in, like, a white floor-length, like, billowy gown with her black hair and her white gloves, and, like, the dress is, like, billowing so, like, slow and creepy, and then it just, like, she's real far away, and then all of a sudden, like, no time at all, she's, like, closer, and then she's, like, literally grabbing his shoulder, like I said, like, she just moves so, like, fast and, like, quiet, like, literally, like, prey stalking, or, like, a predator stalking their prey.
Yeah. I don't know why it gave me Dracula vibes.
For sure.
Like, that whole, like, almost, like, that floating closer, and yeah, it was really good camera work.
No, I'm here
it's
for
creepy.
it.
It's really creepy.
It's so good. Like,
I don't know
love
what's
it.
more creepy, when stuff like that happens where it's like very subtle, or when someone is just like moving like really quickly, like unnaturally toward a camera. I don't know which one is creepy.
They're
both creepy.
I hate. Oh man, I hate
both.
I hate both. Oh my, especially the scene in Death Becomes Her that always gets me with like the fucking nuns just like floating.
I know. But even in Death Becomes Her, when she comes up from the stairs and he's on the phone and in the background, that scene always creeped me out.
Yeah.
Because we just see it slowly happening. Ugh.
I know.
It's both though. It's unnatural and it's slow.
Right. I love a good background work situation. I know. Or like Hereditary.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. So she's like, essentially, she's like, Chip, I'm into you. Like, and you're sad. Let's go make out over there in that building over there. And Chip's like, okay.
It's like an abandoned, it looks like a greenhouse on the inside, but I know it's a pool.
It does. And you know what? I swear to God, if it's not the same building, it's very fucking similar to It Follows, to that pool.
Oh, I know, the pool.
Yes. Yeah. Was that not the same building? Maybe. You know? It looks the goddamn same.
It's just very random. If the building is in, like, the middle of a field, and it's abandoned, there's, like, vines growing through the window.
It reminds me so much of, like, The Haunting, like, that green room with the pool.
Yeah.
All that shit, yeah.
murky ass water.
Mm-hmm. So, like, Needy, of course, she's, like, at the dance. And
she's got her spidey senses.
She does. And she's like, oh, there's Jennifer, but it's not Jennifer. And she's like, Chip's not here. Jennifer's not here. And she, like, takes off, and she just knows exactly where to go because, you know, this, like you said.
The connection.
Yeah, the connection. So she bursts into this pool, and Jennifer, like, turns around. She's like, ah! And she's got, like, the demon mouth. And it's real creepy. Yeah. But she's, like, essentially just, like, eating Chip, and, like, his neck is all, like,
schmagoggled.
Yeah. It's a goddamn mess.
Ugh, and they go swimming in the pool.
It's a whole pool fight scene.
It is really creepy though when like Needy jumps in and she's like trying to get Chip out, and then they look over and they just see like the water. It's like a fucking shark, like Jaws, like the water like is rippling towards them, and she just fucking pops out. And just starts levitating.
I know, yeah, she's fucking floating.
And I love how Needy's like, it's not even that cool.
Right. You such a bit, or what did she say? Oh my god, she said something and she was like, nice insult, Hannah Montana. So they're, like, just going back and forth, and she was like, yeah, you were always a bad friend, and blah, 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 and, like, just...
They have their final, like, confrontation with each other.
Yeah, and I love when she was like, yeah, like, when you had to eat laxatives to stay skinny, and she's like, I am gonna eat your soul and shit it out! It's so good. And then it all culminates, basically, with Jennifer getting stabbed in the stomach by, like,
I don't even know what the fuck it is.
A pole?
A javelin?
Yeah, it's like real long, and she's like, ugh. And she's like, you got a tampon? It just seems like you might be plugging.
The dialogue is so fucking good.
I know.
Like, what?
Oh my god. It just, like, the casualty of it. Like, you just got railed in the stomach, and you're like, you got a tampon? And she just leaves. She just, like, fucks off.
Out. She just climbs out the window, and then Chip dies.
I know, that is really sad.
Needy, hell-bent on revenge. Actually, the scene where in the beginning, because I know the scene at the end is also in the beginning with Jennifer, like, laying in bed, and we just see Needy in the window, is also super creepy.
Yup.
Because, you know, window stuff, but... Yeah, so Needy goes and attacks Jennifer at home.
With a box cutter.
So
much. She's just like, do you get all of your murder weapons at Home Depot?
Oh my god, that reminds me of that other... Was it when she was with Jonas, or when she was with Colin, where she was like, nice hardware, Ace?
Oh yeah. Oh so god. Good. I think that was Colin.
All the fucking one-liners in this movie.
I know. So they're like,
tussling.
They're tussling. They're tumbling in the air, like literally hovering. And they're fighting and like they're slashing. And Jennifer like scratches Needy and I think like bites her. But then while they're floating is when Needy rips off the BFF necklace. And then they just fall really slow, like staring at each other. And then when they're back on the bed is when Needy stabs her with the box cutter and like kills her.
In the heart.
And she goes, my tit. And Needy says, no, your heart. And then Jennifer just goes, it's like so loud.
A 5-minute gurgle.
Yes. And then of course Jennifer's mom walks in and is like, ah! And like Needy is
cut to present.
Yeah.
With Needy in the correctional facility in what do they call it?
Solitary,
yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, there's like a window real high, it's like 20-foot ceiling type shit. And Needy's like, yeah, so like I did some research and it turns out like when you've been bitten or scratched by a demon and you live, you don't become a demon, but you get like some of their powers. So she's like meditating and hovering, and now she's like window height. And she kicks out the window and walks, like, right through the chain link fence like a goddamn cartoon character. And she hitchhikes. She's, like, walking along a street, and you find, like, all the little red balls that they'd been dropping down that waterfall. And the knife that they used to kill Jennifer. And Needy picks it up and puts it in her little vest that I don't know where she got from, but she got it. And this, like, man picks her up. And he's like, where are you headed? And she's like, I don't know. I'm headed into town. I'm seeing this band, Low Shoulder. Tonight's their last concert. And then,
fuck
yes. And then before, well, we hear the song. So, like, we get Violet by Hole starts to play. And then the credits start to roll, but then we get, like, the credit, like, cuts.
Oh, yeah. And it's so good because we see, like, the band, like, basically partying it up after their show in the hotel room. But then, like the credits are going, and then we just cut to, like, pictures. And it's, like, crime scene.
Yeah. It's real bloody.
Like, all the shit that Needy did to them.
Yup. And then we see, like, I think the last shot is...
the camera footage.
Yeah, camera footage of Needy walking away.
Yeah.
Ba 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 ba.
So good.
It's a revenge story.
Yeah.
I love it.
At the heart of it, it's a revenge story.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's Jennifer's Body.
All right, ratings.
5 out of 5. Well, yeah, that means it's a perfect. I'm gonna go 4.85 out of 5.
I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5.
There you go.
I think it's good. I think it's a fair score.
I
do love this movie.
I really do too.
It's criminally underrated. I feel like it still is. I mean, I know like IMDb updates their ratings, you know, as time goes on, and the fact that it's been since 2009, it's still only at a 5.3 out of 10 is pretty surprising.
I know, it's disappointing. I hope that people really do give this, like, if you're listening to this to like hate listen to it, sorry, because I like this movie, so that's not what you got.
Yeah.
But if you've only seen it you know, once, twice, give it another watch if you didn't like it. I really feel like it's super underrated.
Well, yeah, and I think when it came out, if you had only seen it when it came out, watch it again with 2021 eyes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's different. I think it was before its time, you know, so,
For sure.
And because it was so mismarketed, I feel like a lot of people didn't see it. So I would definitely recommend checking it out again. Yeah,
for sure. Do yourself a favor. Give it another shot. Give it another go. I really appreciate all of this movie did. I don't have enough good things to say about it. I use quotes from this movie in my everyday life. Still to this day. I don't even know what else to say about it, to be honest. Like, that's it for me. It's... If you do, that's everything I have to say. I won't say any more. All right, well, it looks like you've survived the demon scratch. You've made it out with a couple extra superpowers. And you know what? We're going to go enjoy Low Shoulders' last show tonight. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you enjoy this movie as much as we do. If you don't, give it another watch. 2021 eyes. Megan Fox has a comeback this year.
Fuck yes.
We're all about eating boys and, you know, like the power of women. But please.
Speaking of the power of women.
Yes. Please check us out. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter at Fright Mike Podcast. We do also have a Patreon. That's right, a Patreon. If you yourself are thinking
more.
If you yourself are thinking, wow, I wish I could listen to more episodes of Fright Mike, well, you can. Please go over to patreon.com/Fright Mike. Fright Mike Podcast? Fright
yes.
Mike. Yes, Fright Mike Podcast. For all the extra spooky goodies over there. I know the movies are open now, the theaters by us, so we're doing more recent movie reviews over there. And then we do have a Patreon exclusive coming this month for you guys. Also, please leave us a 5-star review. That's right, 5-star review.
Not 4.
Not 4, not 4.5. A 5-star review and a nice little comment wherever you can. I think that's it.
Enough plugging for today.
I know. Sorry, I am so awkward. So, until next time, I'm Sam.
I'm Liz.
Rest in peace.